Hey everyone, it's Michelle. In today's video, I'm finally sharing with you my current morning and nighttime skincare routines, featuring some of the products that I mentioned in my end of year 2021 skincare favorites. I originally meant to film this video shortly after that one, but even though this is 3 months late, hopefully it's better late than never. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Michelle. Hello again. I am 31 years old, and it's only been in recent times that I managed to gain really good control over the acne that I have experienced since my preteens. And now that I've gained control of my acne, I've been able to do acne scar revisions. And now that I'm in my 30s, I have a new focus in my skincare, which is while aging, just essentially keeping my skin as healthy as possible, making sure I have a strong skin barrier. In my past skincare routines, I always featured a really popular active that really contributed to my acne control, namely tretinoin. So my prescription is Retin-A Micro at 0.1% tretinoin. However, in previous videos, which I will leave up in the cards if you want to check out, I have used 0.04% tretinoin, 0.3% adapalene, and 0.1% adapalene. The brand name for that is different. So if you're interested in those skincare routines, I'll leave it up in the cards for you to check out. If you're wondering about my experience moving up in strength, I also have videos on that. They are called skin update videos. So if you're curious about any of that, I will also leave it up in the cards for you to check out, as well as in the description box down below. I know I get questions on moving up in strength and what my experience was, but I have talked about those things in those videos. So definitely give those a look if you're curious. Now, alongside a vitamin A prescription product for my acne control, I also use something that tackles current inflamed acne, and that is Aczone. So this is 5% Dapsone. I would use this morning and night, and then the tretinoin once a night. But in this particular routine, I don't rely on these actives. So there's two reasons for that. One, my skin has been really clear without relying on these prescriptions in general. I have mentioned in the past that I eat a high-fat, low-carb diet. I've been very well disciplined in eating that way lately, and my skin just stays clear on its own without relying on these two to be consistently used in my skincare routines. The second is that I have done 3 back-to-back CO2 Fraxel Laser sessions for my acne scarring. So as you can imagine, my skin is on a different level of sensitivity. I am constantly in a recovery process. Since I finished the 3rd CO2 Fraxel Laser session, I am giving my skin a break, waiting a few months. I'm probably going to wait 6 months or so, maybe until the next fall, winter season, to go see the dermatologist to see how the progress has been, just because it is, again, painful. It's quite a lot. If you want to know my recovery experience, I also vlogged that, which again, I'll leave up in the cards if you're interested in checking that out. But anyways, my skin is on another level right now where I don't think it's a good idea to use actives on a consistent basis, particularly the tretinoin. With the Aczone, it's fine because it's pretty gentle, and if I do have a current breakout, it's pretty easy to reach for this and apply it. I never find this sensitizes my skin like the tretinoin, but because I have had these intense laser sessions on top of the fact that my skin's been pretty clear on its own, I just want to put these on the back burner for now, not rely on them as much. So again, the current routines I'm going to be showing you, they're not featuring those actives. However, there are some alternative actives that I am using that I would personally consider more gentle and maybe not as popular in the skincare realm. One of them may be, hint, it's copper peptides. So that one may be a little bit more popular, but the other one, not so much. However, I find this skincare works really well for me and what my skin needs right now. So having said that, let's get right into the routines, starting with my morning one. So I have been going back to cleansing in the morning. Before, I would either do a water rinse or use a toner on a cotton round and wipe my face. I just find when it comes to the fall and winter months, I'm layering a lot more heavy moisturizing products. There's a bit of not only residue in the morning, my own natural oils, fluffs from my bedding that's on my face. So I just want a nice clean canvas for me to apply some fresh skincare. So for cleansing, I've been using the Anoa 90% natural ingredients heart leaf acne facial cleanser. Again, this was mentioned in my end of year skincare favorites. So this contains 0.95% Hotunia cordata. That is an ingredient that was used in traditional Korean medicine to help heal acne. But another key ingredient in here is the salicylic acid. It's near the end of the list, so I want to say it's around 0.5%. This is a really gentle, low pH, dense foam cleanser that does not leave my face feeling weird and dry. It actually leaves it feeling nice and soft. And I find because of those two acne ingredients in this product, it does help with some mild congestion that I will occasionally get. So what you'll see in the cutaway when I'm using this cleanser, not only how lovely and foamy it is, but anywhere I experience more congestion than usual, so namely my chin and my nose area, I do focus on those areas a little bit more. But I do all over my face and neck. So right after I cleanse my face, I remove any of the excess water on my skin just because I don't want anything dripping. But I still leave my face slightly damp, and during that time, I go in with a hydrator. So the one that I've been loving is the Cioris My First Essener. This contains green tea extract, mugwort extract. I believe there's also polyglutamic acid in here. I find this toner really nice at not only replenishing some light hydration back into my skin, but I do notice the soothing properties coming from the green tea extract with this. And despite the jelly consistency, it's actually not that heavy. It's a really nice light finish on the skin. And I don't find that I need to go in with 3 layers with this toner. I just use 1 layer and I'm good to go for the rest of my skincare routine. After toner, while my skin is still damp, this is when I go in with the first serum, and that is the Manyo Factory Bifidabiome Complex Ampule. So in my summer skincare routine last year, I featured the Rovectin Biome Ampule, and I was really taken aback by how much I liked that serum. I thought it was just going to be a simple hydrating serum, but what I noticed while using that serum and while continuing on in my skincare routine with this fermented serum is that my skin quality in general has been really good. So even before I got the CO2 Fraxel Laser sessions done, I noticed that there was a nice refinement in my skin texture, namely in my pore area. My pores started looking smaller. My skin quality just looked really nice and healthy. I noticed my skin maintained an even complexion, and I noticed the redness that I would usually get around my nose area hasn't been as noticeable as of late. Before, when it came to fermented based products or probiotics or whatever, I always used a fermented essence product because I just loved how it made my skin look really nice and bright and also provided that slight texture refinement. But with the serums, I have to say I'm blown away by how much more it does for my skin. And in that sense, I consider this a gentle active in my skincare routine right now, and I'm going to be using fermented serums from now on. After the fermented serum has set on my skin, but my skin is still tacky, that's when I go in with my antioxidant serum, which is Neod Survival Zero. Been loving this. I love how gentle it is. Love the look, the texture, the smell of it. It's just been a joy to use. So if you recall my regimen lab review video when I was talking about the vitamin X serum, here and there my skin would sometimes be slightly irritated. I did go back to the Geek and Gorgeous Sea Glow serum, but because I have done the CO2 Fraxel Laser sessions, my skin is more sensitive to L-ascorbic acid serums, and that one's at a 15% concentration with the low pH. So I just needed a gentle antioxidant serum to use. That's one of the reasons I picked up the Neod Survival Zero serum, on top of the fact I was just super interested in trying it in general. And it's proven to be a lovely, gentle powerhouse of an antioxidant serum that I needed in this skincare routine. For this, I use about 1.5 to 2 pumps all over my face and neck. It provides just a really nice light layer. The reason I use this antioxidant serum near the end of my skincare routine is because the texture does feel like a light oil, so just a smidge heavier in consistency compared to everything else I use in my skincare routine, so I just save it near the end before my moisturizer. So after the second serum, that's when I would follow up with moisturizer, and no shocker here, Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm. I have been trying other moisturizers, but time and time again, I keep going back to the Bioderma one. I go through these pretty quickly because my husband also uses it, but it's just been my go-to. It's just a really lovely moisturizer for drier skin types. I find it very gentle. It's never exacerbated any of my acne. Definitely my holy grail moisturizer. I don't like saying holy grail all the time, but for sure this one is. And last but not least, in a morning skincare routine, sunscreen. Now during the colder months, I actually stay inside a lot, so I haven't been wearing sunscreen consistently, but when I go outside, that's when I will apply it. When it comes to the CO2 Fraxel Laser sessions, the redness does last on my skin for a few weeks, in which case I do go in with the Ulta MD UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44 sunscreen. This is a tinted sunscreen that I did a full review on, and I compared it to the Dermatology All Physical sunscreen, so if you're interested in that, again, it'll be up in the cards for you to check out or in the description box down below. So I mainly reach for this after the CO2 Fraxel Laser sessions just because I find it really hides the redness and just makes my complexion look nice and even. But lately I have been testing a different sunscreen. It's the Purito Daily Go-To Sunscreen SPF 50 Plus. This is their new sunscreen after, you know, the debacle that happened a year or so ago. I'll probably be doing a dedicated review on this. I do have some thoughts on it. For now, what I will say is that it is nice to use. It does have a bit of an oily finish, and because this is a hybrid sunscreen, it also contains titanium dioxide. Sometimes I do feel like there is a little bit of a cast on my face. In the winter months, it's easy to get by because I'm always wearing a scarf or something, so you can't tell the stark contrast between my face and neck. Also, sometimes if I feel like I'm looking a little bit too pale from this, I will go in with a tinted sunscreen, just a light layer of this. And that is it for my morning skincare routine. Now we're going to move on to the nighttime skincare routine. Now in previous videos, I always did a double cleanse and used a separate eye makeup remover. So I have not been wearing a lot of eye makeup as of late, and even then, the only reason I needed one was to remove stubborn mascara. The only times I've been wearing mascara has been when I sit down to film. Otherwise, on a daily basis, I actually haven't been wearing any. I just curl my eyelashes and I'm good to go. And as for the first cleanse, I just don't wear a lot of makeup anymore, especially foundation. I have been foundation free pretty much for the past year and a half. And I find using one cleanser is really good at removing everything. So when it comes to double cleansing, I really haven't found a need to use it. The only time I use some type of first cleanse, it's actually a cleansing water. So here I have the Bioderma Sensibio H2O micellar water. And the only times I use this is when I'm like super lazy. So instead of using the cleanser, I will use the micellar water on a cotton round and then just follow up with the rest of my skincare, because both of them are really good at using on their own to remove a day's face. When I am wearing mascara like I am now, that's when I do have a bit of difficulty, especially the water resistant mascaras that I have. But for this one, it's not a water resistant one, so the Bioderma one does suffice at removing it. Otherwise, first step of my nighttime skincare routine, I no longer double cleanse on a nightly basis. I just go in with a cleanser. So I use this the same way I do in the morning, just make sure I get it all over my face and neck, just anywhere that I've applied sunscreen and makeup. Concentrate on areas where I'm more prone to congestion, and then I rinse it off. Pat my face with a towel just to remove the excess water, and then while my skin is still damp, I will follow up with a hydrating toner. So in the night, I do use a different toner just because I'm trying to use it up, and that's the Bonjour Green Tea Water Bomb Toner. If it were up to me, I would just use the Cialis My First Essener, but I do want to finish up this Bonjour toner. Now, this is a really nice moisturizing toner. I love the viscous texture of this, and it's gentle enough to do multiple layers of it if you want. But other than the additional moisturizing aspect of this toner, that's pretty much all it does. The reason I prefer the Cioris one is because I find it does have that soothing aspect with the green tea. This one has a lower concentration of green tea, as you could even see by the color. So just like the Cioris one, I only need to use one layer of this all over my face and neck, applying it on a slightly damp skin still, and if I feel like it, I may go in with a couple of extra layers with this one. Once the toner has set and my skin still has a bit of tack to it, I follow up with the next gentle active in my skincare routine. That is the Ordinary Buffet Plus 1% Copper Peptides. Now, I know peptides, they're kind of a weird thing right now in skincare. Like, they talk about peptides as an anti-aging ingredient. My understanding is it seems more or less moisturizing, but as time goes on, I've noticed a lot of people have been experiencing benefits from using peptides, namely the copper peptides. So I was curious about it. I decided to start off with the Ordinary's Buffet Plus 1% Copper Peptides. Another reason I became quite interested in a copper peptide serum is because of the CO2 Fraxel Laser sessions that I have been doing. Apparently, copper peptides are really good for wound healing, particularly when it comes to preventing any bad collagen buildup, so the scar tissue, which is what I don't want to have after a CO2 Fraxel Laser session. If you watched my recovery video, my entire face scabs, so I wanted to use something that has that wound healing ability. Copper peptides is one of those things, plus those anti-aging benefits. And from my understanding, copper peptides are a pretty gentle active to use. So I thought overall this would be a good swap for the tretinoin that I have been using in my skincare routine. So again, while my face is still slightly tacky from the hydrating toner, I apply 4 drops of the Buffet Plus 1% Copper Peptides on my face and neck. I actually am planning a review on the Copper Peptide Serum and how it compares to the regular Ordinary Buffet Serum. So stay tuned for that review. I'm actually in the midst of writing it up because I used a decent amount of the regular Buffet Serum as well. And I'm actually pretty much done this Buffet and Copper Peptide Serum. So expect this serum not only in a future review, but also in an empty and newbie video. And you could take a wild guess what the newbie is going to be to replace this serum. Leave it in the comments down below if you know what I'm talking about. But either way, let's move on with my nighttime skincare routine. So 4 drops of this all over face and neck while skin is tacky from the hydrating toner. Then I will go in with my moisturizer, which is the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm. So I use this morning and night. Same with my husband. We love it. And having said that, that is it for my morning and nighttime skincare routine. Typically, I like to keep the products around 5 max. I don't want to use too much, but there are a few products that I like to incorporate every so often, not use on a daily basis. It's more of like a mood thing when I feel like it. So I'll show you some of the extra skincare products that I like to use now and then in my skincare routine on rotation. But when it comes to the core products, I usually keep it around 5, 6 max. First product I like to rotate in my skincare routine is the Hylamide Sub-Q Eyes. I hate that I like this so much because for years I have not been using a dedicated eye product, but when I started using this, I did notice a difference. As I mentioned in my end of year skincare favorites, I noticed that my eyelid area was looking a bit more plump. I noticed it wasn't sinking in as much to where my crease is, and it just makes it feel nice and moisturized. Again, very youthful looking. I'm shocked that it even did anything, but I really enjoy using this. I like to use it morning and evening sometimes. Other times when I'm feeling lazy and I just want to stick to my core skincare routine, I'll put this on the side. But for the most part, I've been really enjoying this eye serum. Hence why I featured it in my end of year skincare favorites. How I would use the Hylamide Sub-Q Eyes is after my main serums. So in the morning after the Manio Bifida Biome Complex Ampule, nighttime after the Ordinary Buffet and Copper Peptide Serum. So once I finished applying either of these serums, I will then do a little drop on my fingertip, and I would use that drop all around my eye area, above, underneath, and just across here where I have a little wrinkle forming. Another extra skincare product I like to rotate in my skincare routine is the NIOD modulating glucosides. Just like the NIOD Survival Zero Serum, this has a lovely color to it, lovely texture, really gentle, delicious scent. I really enjoy using this product. I like using this best after an active in my skincare routine. So having said that, I would either use it again after the Manio Bifida Biome Ampule or after the Copper Peptides Serum. Next skincare product I like rotating in my skincare routine. It falls in the same order with the modulating glucosides. It is the Dr. G Red Blemish Clear Soothing Cream. I relied on this a lot after my latest CO2 Fraxel Laser session. I did run out of my La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm, which was my typical go-to, but I just replaced it with this because it does have the Centella Asiatica in it, as well as its constituents. It also has panthenol, niacinamide. It has a lovely cooling feeling on the skin that lasts, especially when my face was so irritated from the session. So I loved reaching for this. Also have been reaching for it if my skin feels a little bit sensitive. If I'm experiencing a breakout on my chin, I like reaching for this a lot to calm my skin down and just reduce that inflammation. How I would use this again is in the same order as I would if I were to use the NIOD modulating glucosides right before moisturizer. So I apply a thin layer of this all over my face and neck, but after I do that, I let it sit for a bit, and when I feel like my skin's tacky, then I will follow up with moisturizer. All right, and the last product I like rotating in my skincare routine on an as-need basis is the Bioderma Cicabio Pomade. So this also has Centella Asiatica and its constituents in it. I believe it also has panthenol, zinc gluconate, it has copper in here as well. I find it has pretty similar ingredients to the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm, maybe more of the Centella Asiatica constituents. Not as much panthenol and not as much zinc, which kind of gives the cast from that product. But I've been really enjoying this. A follower on Instagram actually recommended this to me, so if you're watching, thank you so much. I've been loving it. I'm actually almost done. I've noticed that it has that really nice balmy texture on the skin. It feels like there's a lot of glycerin in the formula. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to put pure glycerin on your face, but that texture, that's what it kind of feels like. So I originally started using the Cicabio Pomade as a standalone moisturizer, so I swapped it out for the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm, but I found it was best used in conjunction with the Bioderma Atoderm Intensive Balm. So how I would use it in the morning if I wanted to use this is that after moisturizer, I would apply a very light layer of this all over my face and neck, but I would focus on the more red areas, which would be my cheek area, usually around the center. And at night, if I wanted to use this, that's when I was a little bit more generous with the usage. I would apply a heavier layer. So it did have that flexibility, but just so you know, in the daytime, this will make your face look a lot shinier. I personally don't mind that super moisturized look, but for those of you that do, just use a light layer of this in the daytime and go ham at night. All right, and that is it for my morning and nighttime skincare routine. I know that the structure is fairly similar to what I've done in the past, but I hope this change of pace interested you in some way. Please let me know in the comments down below if you have also been using a fermented serum and have been loving it, because I'm just taken aback by how much I've really enjoyed using them in my skincare routine. Also, if you have more long-term experience with using copper peptides in your skincare routine, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Also, I'd love for you all to guess what the newbie for this one is. I think it's pretty obvious what it is, considering I have 2 other NIOD products in my skincare routine. So I'm sure you all know what it is, but I'd love to hear you guess about it anyways. Also, let me know your experience with that product as well. That is it for this video. Again, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel down below for future videos. Leave a comment also if you have any questions or recommendations for other products. And I will see you all soon. Ciao.